Okay, we're going to talk now about systems of inequalities. And really, when you're solving systems, remember when we did systems of equations, your answer or your solution to the system of equations was just a single point. Okay, so that was where the two lines crossed. Now, when you're talking about inequalities, it's not the point where they cross; it's the overlapped area that they're both graphed in. Okay, so you start out actually just the same. You start out by graphing each of your equations. So I'm going to start with the y is greater than 2x minus 6. And so we're going to start with the negative 6, right? Because that's our y-intercept. So I got a point at negative 6. And then my slope is 2, which is also 2 over 1, right? So up 2 over 1. And I'm going to do a few points here to make it a little easier. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Okay, and you could keep going with this forever, but I'll stop there. Now, the thing to look at here, okay, your greater than sign. It is only greater than, it's not equal to. So because it's not equal to, this is going to be a dotted line. Okay, so we're going to dot our line all the way up. It's not going to be solid. Okay, it's going to get a little sloppy up here, but you got the idea. So it's a dotted line going all the way up and down. Okay, now our other equation is also not equal to, so that is also going to be where it's going to be a dotted line. It's not going to be solid as well. Now this one, we got a graph. I'm going to do this one in blue. So we got our y-intercept is at 3, so that's going to be right there. And our slope is just negative x. So remember, if there's no number there, put it in as 1. So we'll make it negative 1 over 1. So we're going to go down 1 over 1. Down 1 over 1. Down 1 over 1. Okay, so we got an overlap there. Down 1 over 1. There, there, there. Okay, and here's our dotted line again. Okay, so we got our dotted line. All right, now, here is the next part. What you're going to want to do, you're going to want to pick a point. Okay, so I'm going to pick the point 0, 0, and that's right there. Okay, and what you're going to do, you're going to plug that 0, 0 into both of your equations and test it out. Okay, so our first one was the y equals 2x minus 6. So I'm going to plug 0 in for y, 0 greater than 2 times x, or 2 times 0, minus 6. Okay, so 0 greater than negative 6. And if that's true, then you're going to shade towards that dot. Now this is our red line we started with, so I'm going to shade going that direction all the way along our red line. Okay, so it's all that. Now we're going to plug it into our blue. Okay, so 0, 0 again, I'm going to use the same point. 0 less than negative 0 plus 3. Okay, so 0 less than 3. So because 0 is less than 3, that's true. So now I'm going to shade the blue line on the side towards 0, 0. Okay, and as you look here, you can see. So in this section here, the blue line has all correct answers, but that's not overlapping. Here's the red line has answers. Here, this is the part where both the solutions are to both equations. Okay, so if you picked any point in that little set right there, you'll be able to find the answer to both equations. So that is your answer to systems of inequalities. Okay, the overlapped region. So all this little section in here is your overlapped region, and that's your answer. Okay, now say for instance 0, 0 didn't work. Okay, you'd have to shade on the other side of the line, but we've already talked about all that, so hopefully you remember that by now. If you have any more questions about these, make sure you ask. Now the only extra part that I want you to make sure of, okay, is if you have, well there's two, if you have a less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, you got to put in solid lines instead of dotted lines. And the other part is that you need to, when you're solving, okay, so say it doesn't give you the equation where it's easy to graph right away. Say it gives you like something like this. 2x minus 3y is greater than 6. Okay, and so you subtract your 2x like normal. Okay, and you get negative 3y greater than negative 2x plus 6. Okay, well here, remember, divide by negative 3. We're now dealing with inequalities again. Okay, back when we did on the, I think unit 2. Okay, well when you divide or multiply by a negative, what do? You have to flip that sign, right? That negative, that greater than becomes now less than positive 2 over 3x minus 2. Okay, so don't forget those rules that you learned back a ways, because that's the stuff that'll trip you up. Okay, so make sure you remember that stuff. All right, let me know if you have any questions.